In this video, we multiply a 2 by 2 matrix and a 3 by 2 matrix by a 2 by 1 and two 3 by 3 matrices together. A matrix is a two-dimensional array of elements. Each element can be identified by two indices. The first one tells you the row and the second one the column. For example, in this square matrix, A11 is the upper left entry, AN1 is the bottom left entry, A1n is the top right end, and ANN is the bottom right end. We can use 2 by 2 matrices when solving a pair of simultaneous equations. For that, multiplying matrices is a very important skill, one that will allow us to solve a pair of equations. Each element of the first row is multiplied by each element of the first and only column. That returns the first and only element of the first row, 21. Then each element of the second row is multiplied by each element of the first and only column. That returns the first and only element of the second row. Let's try that again. Each element of the first row is multiplied by each element of the first column. That returns the first element of the first row, 13. Then each element of the second row is multiplied by each element of the first column. That returns the first element of the second row, 31. Finally, each element of the third row is multiplied by each element of the first column. That returns the first element of the third row. Wanna try? Stop the video here and multiply these two matrices. This is not a difficult but a long question. Let's carry on. We start by multiplying the first row by the first column. 2 times 1 minus 1 times 1 plus 0 times 1. The answer is 1, and we write it on the first cell. Next, we multiply the first row by the second column. 2 times 1 minus 1 times 2 plus 0 times 3. The answer is 0, and we write it on the second cell. Next, we multiply the first row by the third column. 2 times 1 minus 1 times 2 plus 0 times 0. The answer is 0, and we write it on the third cell. Next, we multiply the second row by the first column. The answer is 0. Write it on the first cell. Next, multiply the second row by the second column. The answer 1 is written on the second cell. Next, multiply the second row by the third column. The answer is 0, and we write it on the third cell. Last but not least, we multiply the third row by the first column. We multiply the third row by the second column, and we multiply the third row by the third column. The result is the 3 by 3 matrix with 1 in the main diagonal and zeros elsewhere. But perhaps the most important property is the determinant of a matrix. We will cover this in more detail in our next video, so subscribe if you want to receive updates. Meanwhile, why not exploring this playlist? Happy learning!